Hello, everyone, and I welcome you all to today's exclusive podcast on navigating the talent turbulence and crafting workforces built for an AI first world. I'm your host, Khushi Mudgal, and I'm absolutely delighted to have you with us today. To facilitate the session, folks, please join me in welcoming Mr. Varun Gautam, who is currently serving as the Senior Vice President of Talent Supply Chain at Persistent. Varun, it's such a pleasure having you here with me today.
Thank you, Khushi. Thank you for having me and sincerely appreciate the partnership with Tech Gig. Looking forward for
And
the session.
yes, and now about him. He's a seasoned talent leader with 24 plus years of experience, and currently he drives global talent operations for a 25,000 plus strong workforce. He's recognized among Forbes India's top 30 talent leaders for fiscal year 24, and he has played transformative roles across Persistent, Hexaware, and HCL Technologies, leading initiatives in workforce strategy, staffing, L&D, global mobility, and HR automation. His leadership in workforce strategy and his significant business impact, scaling operations from $350 million to over $1 billion. And he's also building high performing global teams. Not just this, he's passionate about future ready talent models that align with evolving business goals. And now I would like to also tell something about this today's session. As we see that today's world of work is undergoing a massive shift, talent markets are dynamic and the skills are evolving faster than ever. And AI has moved from being a support function to becoming the backbone of how organizations hire, develop, and scale their workforce. So, in this conversation, we will be diving into what it really means to navigate talent turbulence in the AI era, where organizations must rethink how they attract, grow, and retain talent while redesigning processes for a world where intelligence is built into every workflow. And our guest speaker today will bring valuable insights into how AI is reshaping the talent ecosystem from the strategic workforce planning and adoption readiness to the practical realities of building high performing and digitally empowered teams at scale. So, with that, Varun, I'd like to get started. And firstly, I would like to ask you that as you see that AI adoption is as much a cultural journey as technological one, and how are recruiters and delivery leaders being trained to interpret these AI dashboards, the trust data insights, and evolve into these AI augmented decision makers? What is your opinion on that?
So thanks for asking, Khushi. And this entire topic of navigating talent turbulence and in an AI first world, there is so much being said and so much more to come our way. Of course, there is still a lot unknown, but in a sum and substance way, I call it like a part of creative destruction, which leads to a better outcome. There are so many examples what we have seen historically. Uh, in my 2023 years, I have seen so many such examples in my field and my industry, and this is just one more. But yeah, anything which comes new is transformational, brings a bigger, better, more deep impact change than the previous one, right? So that's what we should look at AI and AI adoption. It's a part of our journey and creative destruction. As leading to a question, how are the adoption, and it's becoming a more of a cultural journey than a technology one. Absolutely right. There are many foundational trainings any and every system has developed, and many people are going through as a part of their let's say career journey and as a part of their learning journey. There are many people who are doing it at their personal level, personal interest, and there are many which have been pushed because of the requirements for scaling up on the skills. So as an organization, Persistent also, we have specific areas where we train our employees, where we encourage our employees around technologies which are related to Gen AI. But of course, fortunately, we have been a very early adapters of Gen AI and Gen AI trends. We are a people-based business. Our biggest asset is our employees, our resources, and of course, their skills. So there is always a lot of sharper focus on skill and skill upgrades. Persistent has its own Gen AI platforms. There are agentic products. There's a lot of information available about our tools on SASVA, IORA, which has been existing for over a year. There are many IPs what we have around these technologies, and our teams and practices are very well aligned and pivoting towards this, as you rightly said, right, as a
Yes.
cultural journey. And as we look at the entire Gen AI and Gen AI as a trend, there are two specific areas in which we have pivoted, which is Gen AI for business and Gen AI for technology. Gen AI for business is where you transform skills from processes and frameworks to optimize the output at an organization level. And tech is where you bring in solutions where we are able to provide specific solutions to customers, which also enables our employees to go through this journey. In general, that's how the Gen AI transformation and adoption has been going on.
Right, Varun. And just like you mentioned that with the evolving AI and Gen AI era, definitely it is very important that we keep moving forward with all the challenges and opportunities that are coming across. So with this talent landscape today, which is experiencing the turbulence with the skills shifts, AI disruption, and changing workforce expectations. So from your vantage point, what does building a workforce for an AI first world really mean in 2025 and beyond?
Yeah, so I'll again go back to the same point of creative destruction, but at the same time, there are a lot of misconceptions around this also, right? So when you say
Yes.
changing workforce expectations, expectations are both ways, right? I as an employee and I as an employer as well. So first thing, what we really emphasize is that uh, AI is not here to take your job or take your work, but at the same time, AI won't save you as well if you're going to bolt yourself to the historical models. So it will
Yeah.
only transform if you are able to reimagine the world, and that happens to be one of the core themes on which Persistent also has developed the our go to market proposition. So what it means is that you have to think boldly as the model or the movement demands. Right? So creative thinking, creativity would be the most valuable skill what anyone would have when you look at this workforce expectations or workforce development. I as an individual, I as an employee, from now in future, developers will have to come up with creative solutions. They'll have to look at the way they have been writing codes, the way they have been developing these solutions in a different way. AI and Gen AI tools will come and complement and supplement their efforts. So reskilling will be at a scale to keep pace on emerging technologies, and at the same time, individuals will have to catch up to that pace. Right, mobilizing internal talents will continue to be the business need, and embedding it with the technology would, along with the creative skills, would be the core competency. In general, the entire talent landscape and workforce expectation will move around upskilling, reskilling with the AI and AI adoption tools. And overall, the literacy levels will go up. That's what would need as a workforce you develop for future.
Yes, absolutely, Varun. And definitely building this workforce also becomes essential when we are discussing that how we can incorporate AI and also make it very constructive at the same time. So, as we see that Persistent adopted AI in its talent supply chain for earlier than most tech companies. So, how do you think this role of AI evolved from process automation to informing strategic talent decisions within your teams?
So within our teams, per se, let's say within the talent industry, I think this is one space which will get disrupted, which is already getting disrupted and would get disrupted much faster than let's say the core software engineering. So AI and Gen AI, like any other process, will have a very deep impact, not only on the core talent processes but also to the upstream and downstream processes.
Yeah.
Like for example, the way recruiters source, screen, engage with candidates will transform. Of course, the at the heart of it will be the humanization of AI, where you need to ensure you don't miss the human element of adopting to AI and AI tech, but at the same time enable yourself as talent teams to use and develop your processes and create more efficiency and effectiveness. uh, at Persistent, as we did touch upon in the previous question as well, we were early adopters, and so in the talent processes as well. So there are many, many processes which has shifted. We call it Talent.ai, which is our core framework, which has many, many bots, many, many agents which support the entire supply chain process. And that's how every resource manager, recruiter, any transformation which is happening here has to go along with
Right, Varun. And definitely with the process that we are moving forward, deciding and also making these decisions smooth in this process becomes more essential. So, moving forward to the next question, I would like to ask you that as Talent.ai sits at the heart of Persistence talent supply chain today. So, can you tell us what Talent.ai is and how it supports business ready hiring decisions at scale?
Yeah, so a lot of times, before we develop Talent.ai, right, there is a little bit of history to it on how do you pivot towards such a kind of approach and model, right? So
Yeah.
most people today think that you get an AI agent, and life becomes simple, but it's not
Yeah.
that easy. Building an AI agent is all about choosing the right model or right prompt. As I said, right, creativity is the skill.
Yeah.
But there is something which is far more powerful, which is a lot of time overlooked,
Yeah.
and that actually decides how smart your agent really is, which is the memory part of it. How these agents are used, uh, how these agents react, and their reaction and their usage is all depends on the prompts what you give. So 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 there are short-term context to it, which is, let's say, something called session level memory. Then, as I said, right, humanization. You bring in that touch where you don't leave the humanization of your processes, like for Talent.ai. Don't make it so mechanical that it loses that touch. And at the same time, hyper personalization, which is a
Yes.
user level memory. When you bring in this short term memory, hyper personalization, all put together, that's where you learn, adapt, and are able to make better decisions. And that's what we have also made an attempt to bring in the framework, what we call it Talent.ai. So Talent.ai at Persistent is all about a candidate and an employee experience, which is definitely very, very agentic, but at the same time keeps it very honest and keeps that human touch in place. It includes all kind of agents, right from sourcing, screening, interviewing, assessments, and at the same time keep the human angle open to communicate and make it more seamless.
Yeah.
It supports the talent supply chain performance at scale, because you may develop some processes, but unless you can sustain and scale them,
Yes.
they will fail your business or they'll fail your processes. So the maturity curve is very, very important. The agentic capabilities, what we have as a part of Talent.ai, of course, has a very, very impactful outcome in terms of reducing our time to hire, increasing our offer to onboarding ratios, creating a better candidate experience, better employee experience. There are very, very specific downstream processes which are with candidate engagement, which where we have defined frameworks which are from 1 week to 6 8 weeks, and based on how much time the person may take to onboard, the agents across, along with the actual associates, uh, work together and make a better experience for people. So in general, that's how the Talent.ai framework has been developed and adopted at Persistent.
Very well mentioned, Varun. And these insights really, help us understand the whole process and how we can actually take most results from this business-ready hiring decisions at scale. All right, which makes us move to our next question. Where, as we see that one of the biggest challenges today is predicting that what skills will matter tomorrow. So, how is Persistent using predictive AI models within Talent.ai to anticipate the skill demand and support internal mobility and also optimize deployment accordingly?
So this is always a very, very difficult question to answer. you know, I get this my way pretty much every day, every week, at beginning of every quarter, because we
Yeah.
want to forecast, right? What do we need?
Okay.
And what we have seen in last couple of quarters or couple of years since the time AI and Gen AI really became active is something which is nothing is known to anyone.
Yes.
So it is, you rightly said, it is one of the biggest challenge, which is to build predictability in system and business. But yeah, while we have this challenge and the ambiguity around it, and of course dominated by the larger macro, which is really challenging the business realities, right? Especially in our kind of business where it is a lot dependent on people and skills. The ambiguity is a killer wave, right? Where nothing is known and everything has to be known. So in that parallels with talent forecasting, or demand forecasting, subsequent supply forecasting becomes essentially very, very critical for us to run the business. And of course, as the talent supply chain head, talent forecasting happens to be the core engine in our talent supply chain. We have a practice of doing annual talent plan, which further gets broken into quarterly talent plans, further gets broken into monthly talent plans, and that's how we try and build in the robust or predictive forecasting models to say that, okay, this is what I need in next 90 days, this is what I need in next 180 days, this is what I need in next 270 days, and how do I bring in the talent readiness. There are predictive insights, which is based on demand models, supply models, current supply levels, current skill proficiency levels, and coupled with specific skills which are, let's say, which are new and are more in demand. AI, ML, a lot of LLM models and their integrations, and then they are fine tuned to our business realities, and that's how the cohesive engine of demand and supply is created. That's how we make an attempt to make it predictive for us, bring in skills what matters to us today, tomorrow, and in near future, and of course look at the longevity of it, have larger programs to upskill our employees.
Yes, and definitely reskilling and upskilling are the two, major terms that are actually upsurging in this AI first world. And definitely, with all these advancements, we need to keep doing this at the same pace that is required. So, which makes me ask my next question as well, that with Talent.ai handling scale and speed, what decisions do you think still require human intuition? And how do you strike the balance between AI generated insights and people centric practices such as culture fit or leadership readiness?
So everything, as I said, right, AI is not here to take our jobs. It is a part of creative destruction. But at the same time, if we just think that, get an AI and it will save us, it won't, unless we transform. We have to reimagine every work, everything what we do. uh,
Yes.
and most of these agents are there to work for us, not that we work for them, right? So humanization of all the processes is extremely sensitive. If you lose that sight and you make it more and more agentic or agentic dependent, without the human element to it, uh, in my mind, you are setting yourself for a very, very big challenge. So that way, at persistent humanization of AI and agents is an essential thing to work together, to co-work. And while these agents are enabling us to deliver faster outcome, the final decisions still remain with people. So these are people processes enabled by agentic frameworks, and that's how it should be driven, and it has worked out very well for us. And I honestly don't see it changing much. But yes, it has to enable us to do better.
Yes, Varun, and great insights mentioned, I have to say. And just like we just discussed that with the reskilling and upskilling part, you see that skills first is also becoming the new operating model now. So, how is Persistent using these AI insights to identify the emerging skills, plan proactive reskilling, and then also ensure readiness for the evolving market needs?
But yeah, again, people business skills is something which are very, very critical to us. We do invest a lot of time in creating our learning models. We have a very, very strong learning and development model, which is pure play, AI driven frameworks. So we internally call it PDIA, Persistent Digital Engineering Academy. PDIA is a by default framework where any engineer who comes on board gets mapped, and his or her PDIA journey is defined based on their So there are AI tools which currently assesses their proficiency,
Yeah.
what are the skills they currently have, and based on the work what they are supposed to do, it defines their learning path. So PDA basically enables us to have those uh, identification of emerging skills. It
Yeah.
plans proactive skilling and reskilling of our engineers, and it also provides a very very tailor made journey which is interesting, exciting for the resource, based on how do they add value in terms of their skill proficiencies. So that's how the entire thing of focus on skilling, reskilling, cross skilling, and upskilling in the talent supply chain function is run at Persistent.
Yes, and very well, you have also made us aware about how everyone can follow these small steps to actually reach that scale from where they are better at all these decisions, and also making sure that if every skill and every creativity attempt is making the most of its advancements. So, with this, I would like to move forward with the next angle, that how are you focusing on modernizing the offer to onboarding journey from the perspective of improving the transparency, engagement, and also the operational efficiency for candidates?
Yeah, this is one of the most fascinating area we have been working on. Everyone in the industry has experienced the great resignation, and the so much of one was the employee turnover, but employee turnover impacting your ability to scale the workforce.
Yeah.
Finding that lateral experienced
Yeah.
talent, which was in saying it was in high demand is an understatement, and that
Right.
still continues. And the larger, let's say, let's talk of India as a geography. Larger candidate base in India is really having a very sweet time, right? It's a candidate driven market.
Yes.
Gone are the days while we do hear a lot of news on companies laying off people, but still it is a candidate driven market. Today
Yeah.
finding the right talent is only becoming more and more challenging as we progress. Last 3 years have seen a lot of transformation on this. So with that backdrop, of course, the modernization of offer to onboarding journey is extremely important. So we have a platform called PX 360, which is Persistent Experience 360 degrees, where we
Yeah.
ensure that the candidate gets a very very close view, even before they get onboarded as an employee, of persistent values and persistent experience. So that's why we call it PX 360, so that we are able to give a rounded view. We take them around the earth and show all possible
Yeah.
content which are available. So our aim is to centralize the entire offer to onboarding journey uh, via this platform and make it very very seamless. So here candidate can navigate, of course, with the offer and offer terms, employment terms, but at the same time get exposed to the transparent environment and get engaged. Like for example, if I'm joining your banking and financial services business,
Yeah.
PX360 as a platform ensures that the user or the candidate is very, very well educated on our banking and financial services business. What kind of work we do, what kind of customers we have, what kind of cutting edge technology trends, projects, what he or she will get exposed to. While of course, while all of this is happening, make the documentation process simpler, make the background check process very very simpler,
Yeah.
make joining as a very very delightful experience, and of course, keep collecting their feedback, create that engagement, and make it so seamless that the person really feels home even before they join. And with PX360, over last couple of quarters, we have seen around 6 to 8% improvement in our offer to joining ratios. So it is definitely leading to a very very positive outcome, and that's how we are trying to modernize it and keep it more cutting edge.
Right. And that's really an excellent approach as well. And along with that, it's also exciting to welcome these new advancements in this form of way, where we can actually make the process seamless and easier for all of our, everyone associated with us, and also making sure that each and every, wish is being fulfilled at the same time. So, excellent advice on this, Varun. And now, before we wrap up, finally, what message would you like to share with the talent leaders and developers who are trying to navigate this AI first shift in their own organizations?
But yeah, I think it's just a recap of our last 25 minutes or so.
Yeah,
So you know, AI is nothing but part of creative destruction. So embrace it, embrace it as a strategic partner. It's not going to replace us, but at the same time, if we don't modernize ourselves, we or any individual who doesn't modernize, doesn't adapt
yeah,
to new models will be left behind. So definitely, that's should be the approach. Uh, Creativity would be the core skill. So enhance your creative skills.
yeah,
A lot of us, like people like me, are at the different age pivot, so it's very difficult to evolve new skills, but at the
yeah,
same time not adapting to is not an option for anyone. It doesn't matter whether you are an entry level, mid, or progress to 15, 20 years. So
yeah,
invest in continuous learning, adapt. These are define success in an AI first world. And while you embrace AI, you become passionate about AI. Keep human values, hyper personalization, human touch, humanization
yeah.
of AI at the center of it. So technology should amplify, should not replace the human, and that's how the judgment should be driven. That's what I will say, Kushi.
Yes, Varun, absolutely. And that's actually some excellent advice that continuous learning and curiosity really are the keys to thriving in this new era, first, definitely. So exciting vision, Varun, and it's definitely going to be fascinating to see what the future unfolds. And this brings us to the end of this enlightening conversation. Your insights have truly helped us understand that how we can build and craft workforces for an AI first world that is set afloat. From AI powered decision systems and predictive talent intelligence to human centered workforce practices, we unpacked the next phase of talent transformation. Not just this, we also explored how enterprises can cut through the noise, build agility into their talent supply chain, and create a workforce that's not just future ready, but AI first in mindset, capability, and culture. So, thank you, Varun, for sharing such thoughtful perspectives and actionable insights with us today. It's really been an absolute pleasure having you on this podcast.
Thank you, Kushi. Thank you for having me, and really appreciate the partnership with TechGig. Thank you.
Absolutely delighted always to have you, Varun. And it's really been an honor having you. And your insights have really helped us reshape the AI first world vision and approach towards it. So definitely we'll be looking forward to your insights in the next upcoming initiatives as well. Until next time, this is your host, Khushi, signing off. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep building a people powered digital future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Varun.